you, a wounded being. If I ask you today, what are your wounds? Would you be able to tell me one, two, or a few? You see, each of us do in fact have wounds. Now, if we look at its definition, a wound is the infliction of an injury. Now, when we look more in depth at injury, we see that most times we reflected on a physical injury, bruising to our skin's tissue. But what about the other wounds? Maybe mental, emotional, psychological, or even spiritual. You see, the question begins, were we all born with wounds? You see, we know that we all come here and we all had past lives, even in this incarnation. But the question begins, were we born with wounds from the past life that we brought into this life? And if we look at our birth chart, the astrological system, which generally reflects not just what we're here to do in this life, it also gives us a picture of past life stuff that we've brought into this life. Now, if each and every one look at the depiction of Chiron, which in Greek mythology it's like a comet, but they've written this astrological system to depict the characters in each and every one of our life. And Chiron is depicted as the wounded healer, as this person, who couldn't heal themselves from a previous life experience. Now, as astrology presents it, Chiron is depicted as that wounded healer and that wounded person that can use the experience of this wounds of the past life to heal oneself in this life. And as you go forth and you look at where Chiron is in your birth chart, you could see that, man, I maybe do in fact was born with wounds. Let's look at this example where a man, in this life, his parents died maybe at a young age when he was free, and so he was basically like an orphan, but he was adopted. And so without knowing his parents, he had this great wound. Now, as he goes through his awakening stage and he begins to see past life pictures, he begins to see that he was in fact part of a genocide in a previous lifetime. And so that wound stemmed from a previous lifetime that he brought in this life, that he kind of had to experience again in this life in another version of it. Now, he could tell himself he wasn't able to heal that wound in his past life. So how, now that he have a clearer picture of both lives, can he heal this wound from his Chiron aspect in his birth chart? That person could go through counseling. That person could build himself with so much psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, physically, their entire soul system. See, wow, I could use this Chiron in both lives and now use it in the present day to help others who go through the same thing. To say that it's not over. I had great loss from a young age, but I was able to shift through my own perspectives and see that it's not the end, and show others how we can get through this stage. Each and every one of us, I believe, come here with wounds, and the wounds tend to be not, we get daily physical wounds, but they seem to be deep-seated spiritual, and so we can see many examples. You could have an example where, you tend to go in relationships where you are just emotionally beaten down, psychologically, maybe domestic violence, and, you probably had to go through the same thing. Maybe you were someone who were in some sort of warfare fear zone, you know. And so as you look back, you tell yourself like, wow, I wasn't able to heal certain aspects in that, but now that I could see clearer and I study my birth chart and I see what my wounds are, I could shift it to actually be the healer of myself and be the healer of others. So please just look intensely, you know. And as we now transition, we could all see that so many are right now. When many awaken and they go through their dark night of the soul, they see that so much stuff comes up, stuff that they have buried deep down, you know. For some, it may be abuse that they never could talk about. For some, it's just, you know, always wanting to be dominant over someone because they're afraid that if they lose the dominance, that, you know, they won't feel like their wholesome self, you know, because of what they experience. It could either be something at a young age or in a past life, you know. So let's really look in depthly and see that as we all project and, you know, we look at each other as we transition through this time, say to ourselves like, we were all born with wounds. We all come here to live out our soul's essence. And we now have to look in depthly at our astrological birth chart system to look at certain aspects that affect our entire lives to see, wow, as the depiction of Chiron, which, you know, it's mythology, but we see that, you know, our entire lives are based on a script. We are all characters in this Greek script. And, you know, as we have to go forth and recreate our lives and just, you know, live out our true purpose, we have to now look at every aspect of our lives and say, wow, how can we heal these wounds? Because as we transition to this age, we in depthly all need healing. We all need to release this great age of pain, this great age of suffering, you know, and heal ourselves fully from within. Spiritually, as we let go of all of these religious ties and perspectives, this, you know, pyramid structures and stuff. And, you know, we truly come, you know, on an equal level of harmony. Let's all first work on healing fully those Chiron wounds that may have stemmed from previous life, or, you know, from a younger age in this life, or recently, you know, whatever it is, and see how we could use that great depiction of Chiron, the wounded healer, to really transform our lives and transform others' lives. Use what, you know, is considered maybe the weakest part of yourself to really build yourself up and go out and share it with others to really create that inner balance within you and others around you for the most beautiful, peaceful, loving new earth. So much love I bid to you as you reflect on healing those Chiron wounds and letting go of those wounds that you were born with. So welcome in a new you, fully healed, fully transformed as we transition through this new age and era. Bliss, peace, harmony, and love from my heart to yours.